All right, first question. Cylinder has a volume of 48 pi. It says, all right, if we double the height, what happens to our volume? Well, double the height should mean double the volume, so 48 doubled. Let's see, 48 doubled should be 96. Got to keep the pi there. Could also multiply it by pi. They didn't, so we're going to leave ours. 5. So it took the height times 5. So what's 48 times 5? 240. Here we took height divided by 2. So 48 divided by 2. And 48 divided by 5. Not going to come out nice. Could do a decimal, whatever that is, as a decimal. I'm going to leave it as 48 over 5. Claire, is that okay with you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave it because Claire said so. Cylinder has a radius of 3, height of 5. What is the volume of the cylinder? Volume equals pi r squared times the height. Radius is 3, height is 5. So 3 squared. Adam, what's 3 squared? Y times 5. Hold up, 3 squared is what? 9, thank you. Times 5?
9 times 5?
Yeah.
I actually forgot about that.
45.
45 pi. So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 5, and then the pi. Probably should label still. All right, it is volume. Don't want to get one wrong on a quiz or test because we forgot the label. Now, if the height is tripled, what's going to happen to our volume? Well, that should triple as well. So 45 tripled. 135. Yep, still label. Lucas, what happens if I take the height in half? What happens to our volume?
It also goes in half.
Also in half. So 45 divided by 2 is what, 22 and a half?
Yeah.
Or, you don't want to deal with it, just write 45 over 2. Don't matter. Pretty simple. Number 3. Graduated cylinder is 24 centimeters tall, can hold 1 liter of water. What is the radius of the cylinder? So I got to find the radius. Pi r squared times the height. Tells me the volume is 1,000, so I'm putting that in for volume.
I was wondering why it's
Height is 24. All right, so I'm going to take 24 times pi. I'll just use 24 pi. I'm going to take 1,000 divided by that. So 1,000 divided by 24 pi. Get 130.90 roughly. Now that is r squared. I don't care about r squared. I want r. I want the radius. So what is the opposite of squaring something? No. Square root. So I'm going to take the square root of that number. The radius is approximately 11.44. Okay, and then it says, more questions. What is the height of the water at 500 milliliters? Okay, remember at 1,000 milliliters, it was 24 tall. So it's going to be half the height. So it's going to be 12. How about a fourth of the height? So 24 divided by 4, 6 centimeters. Question number 4. So 3 answers you needed for that one. Number 4, waffle cone holds 12 ounces, 5 inches tall. Sugar cone. I'm a big waffle cone guy. Still holds 12 ounces, 8 inches tall. All right, so the question is, which one is bigger? Which one has a larger radius? They hold the same amount, both hold 12 ounces. Sugar cone is taller, but if they hold the same, what's that mean about this one? This one has to be wider because they're holding the same amount of ice cream. So that one's gonna have to be wider. Question number 5. 6-ounce paper cup is shaped like a cone, diameter 4. How many ounces will a cylinder cup with a diameter 4 hold if it's the same height as the paper cup? Okay, so it gives you a cone. How are we gonna figure that one out?
You do radius times.
Okay, so what's the radius squared? 4. So cone, let's see, pi r squared times the height times a third. This one will be pi r squared times the height. That's cylinder. Now, what do you notice about these two shapes first, before we go through all the work of doing it? Yeah, do they have the same radius? Yep. Do they have the same height? Yep, tells us both of those things. So here's what's going to be the difference. So I don't even have to figure it out. This is going to be a third of this one. That means this one is going to be 3 times bigger. I don't even have to run the numbers, so they're all the same. So that one's going to be 3 times bigger. How many more ounces? 18 ounces. So you did not have to run the numbers. If you ran them all, you're going to see that as well. All right, question number 6. How long is your battery going to last? Okay, so at 8 a.m. you're at 100%. 9:20 a.m. 90%. Noon 72%. Now it's when do you think, so you pretty much can answer anything you want here. You can put 2 days if you want. It don't matter. Okay, there are a couple different ways to figure it out. Notice in the first hour and 20, you lost 10% of your battery. Then roughly 3 hours later, you lost 18%. Must have been on it a little more at the beginning of the day, for school, however you want to look at that. So if you said 10% an hour, let's just say, hey, I dropped 10% an hour. What time is 10 hours past 8 a.m.? What's 10 hours after 8 a.m.? 8 would be 12 hours. 8 to 8 would be 12 hours.
6 p.m.
Yeah, so maybe that would be a good guess. Okay. Some of you maybe said, well, I used 28% in 4 hours. So how long would that last? Well, 28 to 28, that'd be 8 hours and so on. So it would be probably the next day then. So it's kind of just your opinion on how you looked at it. Then this kind of answers as well. Is a battery life a function of time? Yeah, every time I have, my battery's got a certain percentage. I can't look at 8:48 in the morning and notice 2 different percents. It could vary, of course, change during that minute. Is it linear? Well, I've kind of answered it here. Does it fall the same throughout the day? It does not. Clearly, we can see that. It wasn't 10% every hour and 20 minutes for the whole day. So you can analyze that pretty quickly to see it is not linear.